I'm up early this morning. It is 6 a.m. and I'm getting ready to go see Paul in the hospital. Before I get started, let me introduce myself to those of you who are new to this channel. I'm Amber. Welcome. My husband Paul and I live full-time in our 30-foot Airstream that we named Liberty. This channel is about what it looks like to live life fully while living and traveling in our Airstream home on wheels. Welcome to our channel. If you watched our last video, then you know that Paul and I have been struggling with COVID for the last couple weeks. While I took a turn for the better, unfortunately, Paul, he took a turn for the worse. Yesterday, Paul was admitted to the hospital for COVID pneumonia, and he does have it in both lungs. They would only let me stay until 6 p.m. yesterday, so I'm very anxious to get up there this morning and see if the IV antibiotics that they gave him yesterday have helped. We drove the truck to the emergency room yesterday, and if you watched our last video, then you know that I don't have any experience driving the dually, so we left that at the hospital. And my daughter brought my old car up and dropped it off at the hospital for me. If you're wondering where Jaxie is, for those of you that are new, Jaxie is our dog. He is at my daughter's house. Yesterday, when she dropped the car off at the hospital, her and her husband Brandon, they actually stopped by the Airstream and picked Jaxie up. I don't know how long Paul is going to be in the hospital, and I don't want Jaxie cooped up in the RV. So he is currently playing with the grandkids and their other dogs, and he's having a really good time, and I'm really happy about that. I will say, though, that last night when I came home, I was by myself. I've never been in the Airstream by myself. I wasn't scared or anything, but the Airstream just felt very quiet without Paul and Jaxie here. It has been freezing the last couple days, so thank goodness a couple days ago, before Paul went into the hospital, we disconnected the water hose from the Airstream and drained it and put that along with the water filter away so that it wouldn't freeze, and I'm really glad that we did. And then we made sure that we filled up the fresh water tank. Let me go see what that level is at right now. So we are currently at 70% in the freshwater tank, which is good. I do want to preserve that for doing the dishes and flushing. I don't know how long Paul is going to be in the hospital, so this morning I'm actually going to go and take a shower in Paul's hospital room. He has a room to himself because he's on the COVID floor and in isolation, and his room does have a bathroom, so I'm going to go ahead and take a shower up there and preserve water. One thing I need to do is I need to go get a tag for this car for the RV park, because of course when we got here we had the truck, and so I need to get a tag for this car. I don't even know the gate code because Paul is always driving the truck and he always puts the code in, so it's okay. I'm gonna get it all figured out. So I haven't driven for 5 months since we started full-time traveling because Paul drives the dually and pulls the Airstream. So last night when I was leaving the hospital and driving the car, I actually was a little bit anxious, but it was okay and it all came back to me. I did make sure though that I left early enough so that I would be home by dark, and it all worked out. Okay, we just got here. I'm very nervous about going in. I'm really hoping that he's doing better. Some of you have been with Paul and I for a while and have gotten to know us a little bit. If you have, then you have seen Paul's incredible skill with carpentry and his love for this RV lifestyle. Maybe some of you will understand what I mean when I say that there's something very earth-shaking about seeing your strong, kind, confident, competent spouse in such a weakened and sick and vulnerable position. I have never seen Paul like this, and it is scary for both of us. So right now I am choosing to trust God in not only the good times, but in these times as well. So let's do it. Let's go see Paul. Do you feel like you got some sleep?
Yeah, but every time I get to sleep, there they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was nice.
Okay, so the doctor came in, and I just don't know how I feel about this. If you have had COVID and have been through a similar struggle, please let me know. But so Paul's O2 stats are considered good. They're above 90. So he's only on 2 liters of oxygen. What the doctor said is that tomorrow they're going to have him walk around and without oxygen, and if he can maintain those oxygen levels, then they're going to send him home, even though he's having symptoms of not being able to breathe. He can't really even talk much because it's hard to breathe. All his focus has to be on trying to breathe. So I have had a hard time understanding how your oxygen stats can be good when you are having trouble breathing. I could not understand that. So one of my friends who works at the hospital, for those of you that don't know, I retired from the hospital system 5 months ago, and this is actually one of the hospitals that I covered. So one of my friends explained it to me, and I'm just going to read it because I don't. The pneumonia is an infection of the lungs, and because he is used to having more lung capacity to breathe, it makes it harder for him to breathe. But the air that he does breathe is passing through the parts of the lung that are not infected and providing good oxygen levels to his body. Even though he is having trouble breathing, the air that he is breathing is sufficient for his body. So it's very hard because when I look at him, he's struggling to breathe, and they have him on antibiotics, and that's it. We were taking the Tessalon Pearls and Bucinex at home, and they said just continue doing that, but it hasn't helped, and he's gotten worse. So I don't like the fact that they're sending him home. I think that this is why people get sent home with COVID, and they end up getting into a very serious situation with their health because they're not getting the care that they need. And anyway, leave me any comments if you have any thoughts. I'm just upset because I see him struggling, and I guess this is what a lot of people are facing, not just us. Yesterday our daughter came up to the hospital and she brought Paul some balloons. Of course she couldn't come in the room, but she dropped them off and that was really nice. It meant a lot to Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul had me cracking up so hard. He said, we got the lunch delivered and he tasted it and he said, why does everyone with COVID get to lose their taste and I don't? Tried to eat the hospital food. He just agreed to be on camera so y'all can all see that he is alive and well and giving COVID the good fight. So guys, you probably can hear the TV, and for that I apologize, but the good thing about that is that Paul is finally in the mood to actually watch TV. He is breathing a little bit better, and he was able to get some sleep, which is huge. And he actually wanted to get on his phone, which he hasn't touched in several days. So he, I think, is starting to respond. Well, I know that he is. I can tell that he's starting to respond in a positive way to the antibiotics and the steroids. And they gave him a breathing treatment. And that breathing treatment, I think, really helped. But he's able to actually relax now. He's not pulling in from the chest trying to breathe. He actually smiled and he is talking better. Before, if he tried to say anything, it would just take his breath away and he couldn't speak. You know, he's not perfect. He has a long way to go, but these little improvements give us a lot of hope that he's going to start just continuing to respond to this medication. So I am super relieved and super happy about that. We are just so happy. We have so much support. One of my very good friends and ex-coworkers, but very good friend, Joanne, and really all of our friends have been so supportive of us. But I was panicking earlier. I was very anxiety ridden earlier because when they said they may discharge him tomorrow, when he was still breathing so hard and just didn't look well. And she calmed me down and she said, Amber, a lot can change in 24 hours. And boy, was she right, because when he started to get improvement, it was very sudden and out of nowhere. I'm so very grateful. And I'm just so grateful for friends like her that just help me stay grounded. I'm just feeling better. Hey everyone, so it might seem like it's the same day, but it's actually the next day. I went home yesterday at 6 o'clock like I had to, and anyway, today we're here and Paul is still feeling better. He's lost a little bit of his voice, and he's still breathing hard, but he's not struggling to breathe like he was, so I'll take that as a win. He definitely has an appetite this morning. He wanted McDonald's. It's raining and is supposed to be raining all day. So anyway, Mr. Man over there is probably going to get to go home today, and I know that he still has such a long way to go. I'm just, now that he actually might go home, I'm very nervous. I just am nervous that it's too soon, but anyway. Just got home, he's eating and drinking, and then he's gonna get into bed and stay there because I gotta go pick up his prescriptions. I picked up his prescriptions and I just picked up a few things that he requested to eat now that his appetite is back, and I'm gonna be heading home. It is raining. I don't think I told you guys that today is my birthday, so best birthday present ever that Paul is home and getting better. So it is the next day. Paul has really been improving. He has no oxygen and he is doing really good. He can talk, he's not struggling to breathe, and he is definitely on the upswing.
I want to thank everybody for their prayers and wishes, and thank you.
Yes, boy, we could not have gotten through such a hard week without all of you and your support from the last video and on social media, and all of our friends and family that have been there for us and supported us. And again, I'm so thankful that we were at home. Paul has a follow-up appointment tomorrow with his regular doctor to make sure that his lungs are sounding good, but I can just look at him and tell him he is so much better. So
I'm kind of fortunate because a lot of people has this worse than I did. And even though we had our shots, don't take it for granted. Be responsible and take care of yourself and be safe.
yeah, if you've not known someone that has gotten seriously ill from COVID, then you kind of just think it's something that other people are getting, or don't even know if it's really true that people are dying. But when you see someone struggling for every breath, and you know that they're in a very serious situation that could go either way, it really hits home. But I want to show you something that I got, and I want to show you something that I'm doing because I don't want this video to be so sad, and because it's actually a good video with a great result, and it is our life living full-time in the Airstream. It's life, and life can be good and life can be challenging and hard, and we're going through the hard right now, but we're going to be also going through the good again. So don't lose hope. We love you guys. We want y'all to do well, and again, thank you for everything. But let me show you something. My daughter, the night before Paul got released, which was the night before my birthday, her and Brandon dropped off a whole bunch of birthday presents for me to try to make me feel better. And it was not necessary, but it just made my evening after a long day of being at the hospital. It made my birthday so special, as well as all the birthday wishes. Man, I had so many birthday wishes on social media, and it means so much. And many of you wished me a happy birthday, and friends and family, and it meant so much going through this, especially when you feel kind of alone in the emergency situation. And so I'm so happy about it. But I want to show you two things before we get off. Okay. Because I want to end this video on a good note, because we are so happy that Paul is home. Okay, so look at that. Whoa, that is awesome. It is the Breville espresso coffee machine that'll do lattes and Americanos and all of that. I was like, oh, and she's so pretty. She's stainless steel. She goes with the Airstream. That made me very happy. I don't know how to use it yet. It's got a manual, and I'm having to watch YouTube videos because I can't get the grind right. So if any of you have one of these, let me know how to get the settings right, because I haven't gotten it right yet. So I'm keeping my Keurig here because I need the coffee while I'm trying to figure this one out. But I'm super excited to do that. So really grateful for that. And one more thing I need to show you that I'm doing, and I will update you guys on this. It's kind of dark. Let me bring this over here. I want to introduce you to my new pal Pillsbury. Here. So I am doing a sourdough starter, and I'm on day 6 of making the starter, and then I'm looking forward to doing sourdough pancakes and biscuits and sourdough bread. I want to try my hand at some artisan bread. I just fed her, so she's not super bubbly right now. But it was Paul's idea. You have to name your sourdough starter, and it was Paul's idea to name her Pillsbury. So as I start experimenting making sourdough breads and stuff, I will definitely share that with you. And just again, let me tell you that when you're in an Airstream, it doesn't mean you cannot do homemade stuff and homesteading type cooking. Doesn't mean you're limited in any way. It just means you got to work around the space that you have, and that's what we're gonna do. So sorry if you hear the washing machine going. It's about to sound like we're taking off, but anyway, I want to tell you again, thank you, and don't forget to live simply, dream big, and do life. We love you guys. Mwah.